All right, welcome back to Women's Strength and Bodybuilding, where we highlight beautiful and talented women who compete. The purpose of this channel is to bring you news, stories, results, and commentary about your favorite past and present muscular female competitors. Thanks so much for joining. My name is Mark, and if you could smash that like button and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. Share the video with another FBB fan. It'd mean a lot to me. Click the bell icon to get notified whenever I upload new content, so you don't miss a beat. Let's jump in. I wanted to talk about a competitor that you may never have heard of, Kathy Pichnarcik. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly, but lucky for us, she goes by KP. KP is part of an entire sisterhood of gorgeous competitors with amazing physiques that never really progressed to the Olympia stage. Though they may have competed at a pro level, these women were never really given the support and recognition their physiques truly deserved. On that note, we've got the Arnold Classic coming up in just a few weeks, and wouldn't you know it, both women's bodybuilding and physique are not on the docket. The contest organizers nixed both of the divisions while also increasing the amount of prize money for the men's divisions from $200,000 last year to $300,000 this year. Side question, what's up with that? They probably saved a bunch of money by not having to pay the women's physique or bodybuilding competitors and allocated those funds to the men's divisions. Sarah Villegas spoke out about it, because apparently these divisions have been cut for going on 3 years in a row now, and at this point the change seems permanent. I can't say anything bad about Arnold because he's a visionary. Apparently he used to lay brick in the off season, and that's why he upped the prize money. But this is ridiculous, to exclude two big women's divisions like this entirely, especially with physique becoming as popular as it is. Arnold has publicly stated that bodybuilding is becoming dangerous. But apparently it's only dangerous when some people do it and not others. If you're still going to sponsor a men's wheelchair division, but not the top two women's divisions because it's dangerous, then I really don't understand that logic, because it makes no sense at all. And if you've ever watched older Miss International videos, Arnold used to commentate on the women's divisions. He was a big fan of the very attractive competitors like Nikki Fuller and Melissa Coates, but he really didn't care for many of the harder and drier looking competitors. Also listen to this quote about how his goal was to make women's bodybuilding equal to the men's.
To really set a goal to bring women's bodybuilding in there and bring it up to the level where male bodybuilding was. And so this is what the first thing we did was we created bodybuilding championships for the women and promoted it really well to let the women know that they're equal to the man.
Boy, that quote aged poorly, didn't it? Women really have to fight to make it in this sport, and at least they still have the rising phoenix. But just like with KP, it's these types of decisions that really stifle the competitors' bodybuilding careers, aspirations, and earning potential. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you disagree with the Arnold permanently dropping women's physique in bodybuilding? I know for me it makes it a lot less exciting. Anyways, back to the focus of today's video. There are so many competitors that were just so stunning that fall into a similar category as KP, like Cindy Phillips, Sarah Hayes, Julia Stamper, Christy Bruce, Renee Marvin, Jeannie Paparoni, who still looks great by the way, Patricia Veldman, Rozen Kaiser, Shireen Martis, Wana Irepka, Kashma Maharaj, Bonnie Priest, Becky Rampy, and Candy Canary, who was a pastor in addition to being a bodybuilder. I might have to make a separate video about her. If you're scratching your head right now because you didn't recognize a single competitor I just listed, it's for one of three reasons. 1. Timing. There's always been a dichotomy in women's bodybuilding. It's a sport full of mixed opinions, and there was a gradual decline in interest as the women got bigger throughout the 90s, followed by a sharp cutoff in 2014 when it was dropped by the Olympia altogether. Nobody, including me, knew if women's bodybuilding would survive, and I'm so glad it did. The mixed opinions and full-on division cancellations may have eclipsed many women's continuing potential, or discouraged them from starting up in the first place. 2. These women stuck to competing at more of a regional level rather than going all out for the major competitions like the Olympia. Some of them made it all the way to the Olympia stage a couple of times but didn't place how they'd hoped, and it might have discouraged them from continuing to pursue the Olympia. 3. Their physiques didn't translate that well to the stage, or they encountered bias in the ever-changing idea of what a woman's musculature should look like. If you watch my videos on Paula Suzuki, Zuzana Korenkova, and Bev Francis, you know that even though they all had well-developed musculature and impressive size and symmetry, they might have been too big to win first place. Either that or too small from dieting down and over-conditioning to be a real threat to the top 5 at the Olympia. Either way, Win or lose, these women deserve recognition for showing us some of the most unbelievably ripped and beautiful physiques, and it's something that KP did so well. I remember first seeing this clip of her pumping up backstage at the 1998 USA's on Vimeo back in the day, and it was pretty jaw-dropping. Up until that point, I'd never seen such close-up video footage of a woman this ripped and conditioned before, especially in the upper body. Her traps, chest, and arms looked huge. She was also doing some really isolated advanced lifts like bent-over lateral raises, which you don't see all that often in backstage pump room videos. She had great symmetry, impressive size, and deep cuts throughout the arms and shoulders on into the back. Her serratus muscles looked really chiseled from the side poses, and her pecs looked striated, big, and separated, like they were about ready to pop. The biggest impression Kathy made on me was her presence. She had that it factor, and she knew it. It was almost like this was one of her biggest moments to show off her huge musculature and months worth of training and hard work, and she was going to enjoy every minute of it. You can see what I mean because everyone was looking at her in this clip. Like her, this guy, and even this guy. The cameraman couldn't get enough of her. She was smiling so big in all her poses and seemed genuinely happy, like she was really enjoying pumping up and flexing backstage. If you happen to be an aspiring female bodybuilder who's watching this channel to learn more about past competitors, take note. This is how you capture an audience. Unfortunately, the next pump room and posing video to feature KP from the 99 USA's didn't match the same level of conditioning and star power as she brought in the year prior in 98. It was almost like she came in a little bit too lean and not quite as filled out as the previous year. She may have been battling an injury, but still looked really strong and impressive nonetheless. KP will always be one of my favorite lightweight competitors, and she had an absolutely eye-popping side chest pose. Even though she was stunning, beautiful, and talented, there really isn't too much out there about KP. The majority of her contest history consisted of regional shows, as opposed to national or pro-level shows. In 1984, she won first in overall at the Miss Teen Arizona, so clearly she had great structure, genetics, and ambitions from very early on. In 1986, she took third at the Super Bowl of Bodybuilding, and second at the Miss Arizona. In 1988, she won the Miss Arizona. In 1993, she placed first in overall at the Western Regional Bodybuilding Championships, and she also won the NPC Achievement Award for Most Outstanding Bodybuilder. In 1997, she won the Iron Maiden. In 1998, she won first in overall again at the Miss Arizona, and second place at the USA's, which was my favorite show of hers we spoke about earlier. 1999 was her last show that I can find, where she placed second again at the USA's. Other than that, she owns her own gym, called Z Gym, based out of Arizona. It looks like a really nice little establishment, and I'd love to go lift there sometime. She's also been featured on the cover of bodybuilding magazines like Flex, Iron Man, and Women's Physique World. In addition to being a certified personal trainer, she's also an orthopedic assistant and has developed sports medicine programs for several LPGA golf pros. She's also an entrepreneur and has invented a special walking device known as the Shuffle Stopper. You can see some videos of KP demoing how it works on the website, and she still looks great. I wish her continued success with her businesses and all the happiness in life. I hope you found a couple of fantastic lady bodybuilders in this video that you didn't know about before. These ladies deserve more recognition for their hard work and achievements. Women's bodybuilding and physique deserve just as much of an opportunity at pro shows like the Arnold as the men are getting. Like the video if you agree. Leave a comment about a lesser known bodybuilder not too many people know about, and subscribe to keep supporting these women and stay up to date with more great women's strength and bodybuilding content.